comment, like, and subscribe. What's happening, YouTube? It is Friday, November the 8th, and I just got in. I've been out of town, so I got back, and my box from Team Z Motorsports showed up. I got the Fox body style rear springs. You may be wondering how they look compared to a stock cut spring. So these were stock springs that I had, and I cut a coil off of them, and you'll see it's really the exact same height as this Team Z. Now what I heard was these are rated for like a 3,000 pound Fox body. They have a different part number for the 94 to 04 style, which has a little bit more weight. But a lot of people are saying to get the lower look, you need to get the Fox body ones because the other ones raise it a little higher. So I've got these springs to put on. These are the drag springs to go along with my Team Z lower control arms. I already had the Steeda uppers with the polyurethane bushing, but I'd love to change those to a solid like these, heim joint. Later on, I'll do that. But basically, I've got the Bilstein street strips, shocks on the back and struts on the front. And now with those springs, I'm hoping it's gonna hook a little better, give me a better 60 foot. Now the stock cut springs seem to do pretty good on the street, but they were starting to squeak, and I don't know if it's just the metal just fatiguing after a while, but I've changed bushings and everything on it and greased stuff, but on the right hand side it had a squeak, so I'm hoping this is gonna fix that. But follow along as I get the car ready to go to the track this weekend and see if we can finally go faster than what it did months ago with the 6-speed manual. Pretty easy install. So now I've got the springs in there, both sides. That's the Team Z springs. There's our Fox body rated, a little bit lighter duty than the SN95 platform. But the Team Z lower control arms, as you can see, yes, I still run a factory rear sway bar. You'd be surprised having some kind of sway bar actually helps the car where a lot of people don't use them. It actually works really well. I don't want to put the anti-roll bar in here that bolts up here and welds to the chassis or anything like that, because this is more or less a street car. I'm not going to race that often. But I want to be able to go to the track and it hook with the best street stuff that it can have. So just wanted to show you that's what it looks like. I'll get on the ground and we'll compare the height to what I had before. Gonna drive it, see if it settles down some, because that literally just lowered it down. I bet it settles a little bit once we compress it some. We'll see. All right, I've been running all the fuel down on it just to make sure the gauge is reading right and putting miles on these springs. I put 100 miles on these springs now, and they didn't really settle much. See there, just a hair. They might have settled maybe quarter to half inch at the most, but that's okay. They are the exact same height that the stock springs I had with one coil cut off. So that's cool. And these are the Fox body springs. They ride awesome. So I really like them. I've been out beating on the car, rolling into the throttle, doing all kinds of stuff. It does phenomenal. It actually hooks really well. To be spinning the tires, it's getting the car to launch and actually move. So while it's spinning the tires, it's still moving. So I just went and put some more ethanol in it, got a little over half a tank. And I can tell you, just with the pumps and everything I've done to it, where it used to get under half a tank, it would like lose fuel pressure and it would spit and sputter, didn't like it. Now I've run all the way down under a quarter tank and it didn't do any of that. Even beating on it, the fuel pressure stayed steady at 60 pounds. So maybe some of that problem I had was just not enough volume of fuel to the front. Could have been the filter getting clogged, that old style paper filter instead of the new stainless one, or just simply could have been the pumps have been weak for a while and I didn't know it. But regardless, the two Hellcat 525 liter power pumps are in it, stainless steel filter, number 10 line. It's doing great. Nothing to see here. Just taking the street shoes off and putting the track shoes on. These are a set of 28 by 10 Hoosier slicks on my Bogart wheels. Those are 16 by 9 wheels, and this is a 28-10 16 tire. Bigger wheel clears the Cobra brakes. If you still got the stock lines here, because that's normally what hits right in there. One day I'm going to change these so I can run my 15-inch wheels, but for now you see my extended studs, built rear. This thing's ready to go. Put these dancing shoes on here and see what this thing can do. All right, we're here at Rockingham. It's about 1:15. We're getting ready to pull up and tack in and make our first pass in the Mach1. Stay tuned. So first pass, 10:08 at 140. So we're exactly a tenth faster than we were, same mile per hour, but I had a 165 60 foot. I basically tried to trans brake and it didn't work. So I just went ahead, and I'd already rolled through the beams at that point, so I stabbed it and it spun, but then it took off. So it went 655 at 111 in the 8th. But the 10:08 at 140 is very promising. It's definitely a tenth faster than it was with about the same or worse 60 foot. So we are getting there. One thing to show you. Looks like my belt's trying to give up the ghost there. Look at that. Just one more pass, baby. Just one more pass. Hang on for dear life. And OGs will know what this number means. That's the number I had on my blue Mustang back in the day. My first Mustang I painted blue with white stripes. I did a wheelie in way back in the day. Love that number.
Whenever you're ready, buddy.
Okay, thank you, man.
No problem.
Oh, the alternator light's on. Well, there you go. 10.8 volts. That ain't gonna do it. Can you believe it? I went a 987 at only 125 because I shredded my belt. Check it out, it is not charging. 10.5 volts. I shredded the belt and still went a 980. I went a 620 in the 8th at 114. Dude, it had a 149 60 foot. Came, saw, and conquered. Can you imagine what it would have been if the belt didn't come off? Awesome. 9-second street car. Proven. All right, check it out. 987 at 125. Best 8th mile, 628 and 149.60. Now let me show you why it only went 125. Yep, there is no belt. No belt. It's not shredded, it's gone, see? See, look.
I knew I knew. I said, Katie, he shredded his belt.
I thought something happened. It was pulling, all of a sudden it was like, blah! And I'm like, okay, I just let off and coasted. I said, well, I broke something. But it was still running. What do you think? Nice coat, fitting. Turn around, see the back. Yes. So what do you think?
I mean,
How many people tell you what something's gonna do and then actually do it? Not many, right? Well, I told them on the way out here, it's gonna run 9s. I know it'll run 9s. And it went 980s, faster than I thought it was gonna go. And I'd love to see what the mile per hour was, but it was pulling. Do you know it went 114 in the 8th? That's the fastest ever gone. And went a 620 in the 8th. That's fast. All right, for comparison, my Fox body back in the day, my blue first Mustang ran 6.0s at 114. With the small block on nitrous and the big block. 6.0s 114 was the fastest I could ever go. Now this car, blue Mustang, is running 620s. That's awesome. How was the launch? Did it try to leave, you know, because that was second gear, by the way. That was a second gear leave.
it left better than
Oh, it definitely felt better because I could feel it. I was trying to figure out when to shift it to drive because once you launch the second, you got to push it to drive so it'll know to shift. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I like it. Comment like it's so. Oh, so I found the belt. There it is. Hanging under the bottom. Nice, right? Here's one side of it here. So that's the problem. It held on good enough though for 9 seconds. All right, so I'm home from the track. It's 6:30 at night, and literally I'd ordered this on Amazon Friday. It didn't come in yesterday. It came in today. It was on the porch waiting for me. But this is the replacement belt, and I figured you might want to know how to change it. So first thing you do is you take this idler pulley off like that. And once you run your belt around everything, then you can pull this adapter. Basically helps you install the belt. You can pull it and get it on like that. And what I do is I make sure it's down in here. It's all kind of lined up a little bit. You want to push that under there. So that gets it all lined up at the bottom and the crank and all of these pulleys. And then, see if I can do this. See if that will work. You have to take your left hand, push this down and push in on the belt like that. And that gets the idler pulley back in. I can't tell you how many times supercharged guys, Cobra and Terminator swap, Mach1s like this one, they try to slide the belt over here, it just won't go. You take that off and it goes in real nice. And then if you look at the travel, I run my travel a little tight at first. See, it's just past the marks here, but it's because it's a brand new belt. As soon as you run it and it stretches a little bit, it'll be right inside this window of this little block. Is where you want it. So now, I just put all this back in here like this, tighten it all up, and pull my little adapter here out of the way. So I will tighten this back up here, like so. And once that's tight, then I can crank it up, make sure the belt's running properly. And what I want to show you, while I gotta go tighten that back up, I'll show you overall the car. I do have the battery on a charger because as soon as it shredded the belt on the track, immediately ran off battery power and it's down at 10.5 volts because it's trying to run the dual 525 pumps. It's got the electric fan running, it's got all the electronics, it's got the coils firing. It took a lot out of it. But I didn't talk about, this is the battery location kit. This box is from Summit Racing. I like it because it's plastic, has this little mount. You can flip it upside down for taller batteries or like this for shorter batteries. I did my studs down through the floor with these large flat panel washers they give you top and bottom to secure it. And I ran a welding cable. That's a 1/aught welding cable, all copper, from the back all the way through the floorboard and up and to the front. And then I have a ground going right down and it's bolted to the frame back here. It works really well. The car starts up great. And the only thing I did for the track, I took the back bottom seat out, but the reason I'm gonna show you, you can see the battery cable run up and around, then it runs under here and up into the front. I got to put my passenger seat and back rear lower seat in it. Here's the weight I took out. Spare tire and jack, rear seat, and then the passenger seat over there. Drag pack on it, but I'll tell you this, those drag shocks and struts from Bilstein work great. Everything's tied in, everything's working really well. The only thing I also took off was this chin spoiler here. And part of it is because getting it on my trailer, it's real low, I don't want to drag it. So I took that off. So it might look a little different in my videos. I will be putting a chin spoiler back on it. I'm gonna ride around a couple days with the slicks on it because it definitely hooks better on the street. And I'll see if I can take some of my buddies around like Gabe Riley with the white blur, see if he wants to ride in something with some real power. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm really stoked. I wanted a 9-second streetcar out of this. I knew it could do it, and it did it tonight. And it did it, again, under not perfect circumstances. So could it run faster? Could it run 970s or maybe 960s, about 140 to 145? Probably. I got to watch my video. I didn't really have a chance to watch the air fuel and the fuel pressure gauge. I was watching the tack and all that, making sure all that was working, and see how my boost is. But I'm assuming the boost should have been about 21 to 23 pounds of boost. The fuel pressure should have stayed steady at 60. I think with the bigger lines, Caleb, when he tuned it years ago, he had to compensate for run out of fuel by making it really rich. And I think, if anything, it's probably super rich on the top end now. Instead of 11.5 air fuel, it's probably 10 to 10.5. But we'll see in the video. Other than that, shout out to Jason at Wicked Performance. That 6R80 did great. That stall worked really well. A trick is I had to launch it in second gear. I tried first gear and it annihilated the tires. I started out at 13.5 pounds, hot, they were 15. And so the second pass, I put it in second gear for the launch. I had the tires at 12 pounds cold. They were about 14.5 when I came back, but it was really swaying. I don't know if that helped the 60 foot. It had a 149. I don't know if I should have put a little bit more pressure in it, but I'd love to put my drag radials on the back of this car. In future, I might do that, but for now, it's like the black car. It ran the best pass of his life. I don't have anything else to prove. It ran in the mid-8s. This one has now run high 9s with less than perfect pass. So I'm really stoked. Thanks for hanging out with me at the TTSaleen Garage in 2024. We've done a lot of cool stuff this year. We've taken real street cars and shown just how fast they can go with minimal effort. I mean, really, if you think about it, this is a stock, basically, motor, ported heads, a set of cams, and a supercharger. And this is old school VMP 2.3. And like everybody's gonna say, man, if you had that Whipple 3, it would be running 8s. You can bet your ass it would definitely be an 8-second car. But you know what? That little 2.3 is a workhorse. It does great on the street. It's instant power. I mean, I can't say anything bad about it. It's been a great supercharger. So thanks for hanging out. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. We'll talk to you soon.